Hi everybody, my name is Angela Cleary. I'm a feminine empowerment coach and I specialise in healing after narcissistic abuse. So today I want to talk about fear. We tend to let fear stop us from taking risks, from pursuing goals or dreams. We tend to let it get in the way of anything that I suppose makes us excited, really. It comes in to stop us from trying new things. And we let it. We say, oh, I'm going to start this when I'm ready, or I'll start this, I'll wait till I'm not scared. I'll wait till I'm more confident. But the only way out of fear is if we go through it. And I've learned this myself over the last couple of years. So scared to try anything. And I'll wait till I'm ready, But I find the anxiety and the fear up to actually doing a task it's nonsense, because when I actually do the task, it's not even difficult. It's enjoyable. And the anxiety and fear I put myself through before I try, like sometimes I could let my fear stop me from doing something for days, weeks, months. Do you know, and the anxiety that builds up and builds up and builds up and bubbles like. And then I finally sit down and do what I want to do, or I'm afraid to do. And I'm like, what the fuck was I scared of? There's nothing to be scared of. Like, we fear things that, won't ever happen. We fear things that aren't real. We tend to create obstacles because of fear. And we can only overcome our fear by fighting through it. That's the thing. We can't banish fear unless we actually do what we're afraid to do. We have to stop letting fear get in the way of us taking risks and of pursuing things. We have to stop letting our anxiety get in the way of our future, of the life that we want to create, of our new reality. We just tend to let fear consume us. It does consume us. It really does. And we have absolutely nothing to be afraid of, because we're afraid of trying. We're afraid if we try something, we're going to fail. Sometimes we're even afraid of success because we know no different. But when you think about it, you can, if you fail at something after trying, it's a lesson learned, but you don't actually lose anything. If you're living the 9-to-5 life, if you're living this boring, black and white, this grey, mundane existence, what harm will it do you to actually try something? Because if you try something new, you're not losing something if you fail, but you're actually gaining knowledge. You're gaining on how to do it better next time. You're gaining knowledge on how to do it better next time. But if we don't try at all, we're going to stay in that same bubble, that same place. And what's that quote? But what if I fall? But what if you fly? We're so afraid of the things that can go wrong, but let's start getting excited for the things that can go right or will go right. We're going to live our whole lives regretting the choices we didn't make, the risks we didn't take, and live in a bubble of anxiety and fear because we won't let ourselves go through that fear. And that's all we need to do. You don't do stuff in the absence of fear. You let the fear motivate you. You let the fear drive you, in a sense. Because even if you did try something and you failed, you get this sense of fulfillment from fighting through that fear. And that will make you stronger to try again. And you only fail if you create that. If you go in with a positive mindset into something, you cannot fail. And if it's your life purpose, you cannot fail. You just can't. So, taking those risks, pursuing those goals, you can't fail, because every try, whether you have to try again a second time or a third time, they're all lessons, but they all make you stronger. And that's the thing, fear is a choice. I'm going to read a quote from Will Smith, and this is one of my favorite quotes because it just makes so much sense to what I'm trying to say. Fear is not real. The only place that fear can exist is in our thoughts of the future. It is a product of our imagination, causing us to fear things that do not at present and may not ever exist. Do not misunderstand me. Danger is very real, but fear is a choice. Fear is a choice because we're fearing things that don't exist. We fear things that haven't happened. We're creating things to be fearful of. And with the law of attraction, if you fear something, you're going to attract that to you. So if you fear that something is going to go wrong, you're going to attract that. So you have to overcome this fear. You have to start thinking positive. When we think positive, we can bring more positive things to us. But when we live in fear, we will continuously attract what we fear to us. So we need to get out of that fear-based mindset. Because fear is not real. What are we afraid of? What are you afraid of? You know what I mean? We're afraid of something that's not real. We're afraid of something that doesn't exist. And as I've said, when you fear something so much and build up that so much anxiety and then you finally do it, you're like, oh my God, it's not that bad. And you're like, what the fuck was I afraid of? And that's the thing, the build up. And the longer you take to do something, the more fearful you get. But at the end of the day, that task is not half as hard as what you think it is. And I've been fearful of trying new things and, I'll wait till I'm ready. But you're never going to be ready if you keep saying, I'll wait till I'm ready. You have to fight through that mindset. And you have to do it. Just fight through and do it. Go through that fear. And I swear to God, every time I do something I'm afraid of, I'm like, I love it. And the more I heal, the more I enjoy change. But when I'm stuck in that mundane life, I feared change. I wanted to stay wrapped in this bubble and I was like, I can't go outside. I'm so scared. I'm scared of anything new. But because I've healed now, I love change. I don't fear it anymore. I actually want it. Do you know what I mean? And I call it in because I love variety. I love excitement. I love something new. So once we break out of that cycle that we were in, fear becomes obsolete because it's the comfort zone and your ego that keeps you in that fear-based mentality. But once you heal and actually break through those fears and go through those fears and take the risks and try those new things, then it's as if you've got a whole new you, and then all you want is change. All you want is to try new things. So failure doesn't even matter because you're just oh, let me try again because you're excited. You build confidence when you go through your fears. And that's what I find, no matter how hard you think something is going to be, you actually do it and you're like, oh my God, this is actually not difficult at all. This is exciting. This is fun. And then you get more confident because you're that's a win in itself. No matter what you think is failure, as far as I'm concerned, there's no such thing as failure. Because if you learn how to do something wrong, at least you know how to do it better or right the next time. So you're learning. So every try is a learning curve, even if you have to try again. So, trying is so good for your confidence. Going through fear is so good to build your confidence. And then you can just keep going and keep trying all these things that you think you're afraid of. Because that's all, you think you're afraid of them. And when you change your mindset into positivity, forget that fear. Don't fear, because fear, you will attract that shit. You will attract that negative energy. You will attract things to be afraid of. If you fear having less money, or if you fear being hurt, if you fear, your partner leaving you or something, then you're actually attracting that. And you're setting out this vibration to attract what you're afraid of. If you fear certain things, but they're right for your soul, you have to go with that. You have to overcome it, no matter how scared you are to leave that job and look for a new career path. No matter how scared you are to end that toxic relationship. No matter how scared you are to be alone. Being alone is empowering after you get out of something toxic. Fighting for a new job or pursuing a new goal, pursuing a business or entrepreneurship, it makes you empowered. It makes you stronger. And then you're when you go through, we keep overthinking and getting anxiety over these things that we're supposed to do. And we keep letting fear get in our way. But if we keep letting fear get in our way, we're going to stay stuck in that life. We're going to stay stuck in that toxic relationship. We're going to stay stuck in that shitty job if we let fear stop us from pursuing our dreams, from taking that leap of faith. And that's what it is. You can fly. You can fly. Don't be afraid to jump, because, what's that quote I heard lately? Take that leap because the universe will throw you a net. That's the thing, or your wings will sprout and you will fly. Because when it's for you, it will be easy. So the fear is actually the only thing that's actually hard. When you actually do the task, it is easy. It's easier. If it's meant for you, if it's your life purpose, then you can manifest that quite easily once you fight through and overcome your fears. The fear is actually the only shitty part, because we're afraid of trying, but that's actually easy. It's just this that gets in the way and makes it seem difficult. Do you know, that's the thing. We really need to stop worrying about things going wrong, because when we make the right decisions in life, when we set boundaries with people, we're afraid to set boundaries. That's another one. We're afraid to set boundaries with family members or partners, ex-partners. We're afraid to block that person. We're afraid to cut people off because we're afraid to be alone, inevitably. But why? When you make these decisions, the universe supports you. Your angel team supports you. So, you might be scared, but you're not doing it on your own. And when it is for you, when it's meant for you, then there's nothing to be afraid of. And as I said, the easiest way out of fear is through it. I have a couple more quotes here that I want to read. They're just really inspiring for when you are feeling a little bit fearful. If it scares you and excites you at the same time, it probably means you should do it. That's the thing, you get this excitement. If you get excited for something new, but then your anxiety comes in and you kind of go, maybe not today. Don't let that happen. Follow that excitement, follow that bliss, follow the dream, follow the rainbow, you know what I mean? Follow that goal, that life, that magic that you want. And don't let fear stop you. Don't let fear get in your way. This is another really good quote about fear. Fear has two meanings. Forget everything and run, or face everything and rise. The choice is yours. So face everything and rise. And that is it. You will become more powerful, more empowered, more confident, and more capable of taking on these harder tasks. And they're not even hard tasks, is what I'm saying. We only think they're hard. We only think that they're scary because they're unknown. We fear the unknown. And that's the problem. We fear something that isn't what we're used to. That is our biggest problem. We think because we're so used to that mundane, shitty life, this unknown is scary. There's no map, if you get me. So, if we follow this old route that everyone else follows, we have a roadmap because everyone has been down here before. They've met the trail. You can follow the people because they're all going that way. Or you can decide to create your own map. And that's what makes us scared. Because we can only see a few feet in front of us. But we create that road as we go. So if you take those little baby steps, if you overcome your tiniest fears and just take baby steps every time. And that's what I did when I was starting my career, was no matter how scared I was, I made the commitment to take one baby step every day. And it's scary. It's even scary to take a baby step. But taking one baby step and getting through that, you're like, I can do this. And then you do another one. And then the universe hands you a couple of more opportunities to make the next steps easier. Starts showing you a little bit more of the map. So you don't do it on your own. Trust that you have divine guidance and that you have an angel team and the universe and source, God, looking after you and holding your hand on that path. Do you know what I mean? Even if you can't see too far ahead, that's okay, because we have to be in the moment. We have to be in the moment as well. When we fear things as well, and that is because of our past. We fear the past repeating itself. But we have to trust in the future that we have. We have to trust in our divine mission, our divine life purpose. We have to trust that we are meant for more. And even if you can't see what is exactly ahead of you, trust that it will unfold every time you take a step through fear. So every time you take one step through fear, the universe will take 2 more for you. And this will keep happening. The more you move forward on your new path, the more the universe will guide you along. So even if you think that you can't see into the unknown yet, and if you're afraid of that, know that you're not doing it on your own. You have nothing to be afraid of. And that's what I've learned when I started, was that I'm scared. What am I scared of? I shouldn't be scared, because you can't fail in your life mission. You can't. The only way you can fail in your life mission is if you stop or if you don't try. That is the only way you're going to fail. You have to trust in your process. Trust in every step. Fight through that fear, because you are divinely guided. And if you move, no matter how slow you move through that fear, no matter how slow you take those baby steps forward on your new path, the universe will support you. They will create opportunities where you once saw obstacles. And they'll be your comfort. They will be your support team. So you're not doing it on your own. You've absolutely nothing to be afraid of when you pursue the life that is truly meant for you. Because this is, even though you can't see the road ahead just yet, if this is the life meant for you, then it is actually going to be quite easy. The only part that's hard is this, and the fear of it. That is the only part that's hard, because like I still get fear over certain things. I was like, oh, I have to do this, and then I might take a few days to do it, and then I do it and I'm like, oh my God, I love this. What was I scared of? I'm actually really enjoying this. Do you know what I mean? And I end up procrastinating for days about something, fearful of doing it, thinking, oh, I'm not going to be good enough to do this, or oh, I won't be able to do this. And then I do it and I'm like, oh my God, I'm so good at this. Genuinely, I'm not trying to be a big head there, but genuinely, the fear of doing something, it's like, oh, what if I can't? And then I do it and I'm like, oh yeah, I can. Yes, I fucking can. So you know what I mean? You actually, once you fight through that fear, once you fight through that anxiety and the fear of the unknown, genuinely, it's like it gets so easy. It's genuinely just our false thoughts about fear that make things hard. That is all. And like, you know, the task itself is actually never that hard. It's just the build up to it. So the quicker you actually go through it, the quicker you overcome that fear, the easier the task is. The easier it will get. So it's that simple. It is that simple. The only way to overcome your fear is by going through it. That is the only way. You know, the procrastination, saying I'm not ready, I can't do this, I don't have the courage to do this, is bullshit. Because that fear will not go away until you actually do the task at hand. That fear won't go away until you actually pursue that path or make that baby step forward. It won't. And that's the problem with our minds. The only time that we can actually overcome that fear is when we do what we're afraid to do. It's that simple. We have to fight through that anxiety and that false mindset and fight through that and actually just do the task at hand, because fear is bullshit. It's fucking bullshit. It really is. And like, I'm starting to learn that more and more lately. Anytime I get scared about something and then I actually do it, I'm like, oh, what was I waiting for? Do you know what I mean? So like, really, I swear, like, coming from me, promise you, like, do the task, because the task is so much easier than the worry. It is so much easier to do the thing than worry about the thing. And it's a relief, because that anxiety goes away the minute you start that task, the minute you take that step, the minute you walk forward on your new path and your new reality, on the new version of you. The fear disappears. You just have to take that step forward. And then it's gone. Fear is definitely a choice. And I'm starting to see that more and more. So thank you so much for listening today, and I hope this resonates. If it does, please like and share. And if you want help in your journey, please book me for a discovery call today, and I would love nothing more than to help you on your path. Thank you for listening. Bye-bye.